start recording.
So the date is. What is the date?
The date is the 20th.
No, the date is November 30th, 2012, and we have just bought a Wii U.
That's not the date, but I see what you're going with
It
here.
is November 8th.
Is it?
November 30th, 2012.
Oh right, yeah. I've just realised that I'm on Windows 7 right now. Yeah, no, it's definitely there.
Yes. By the way, talking from November 2012, Xbox One going to be a massive success. PS4 is going to fail so badly. Just don't buy a PS4; you'd be wasting your time. But
yeah.
Obviously, next week there's a new Nintendo home console. Well, James says it's a home console. I say it's not a home console, but there's a new Nintendo piece of hardware out, and it's after 10 years the Wii brand is no more. So we wanted to take this opportunity to look back on the Wii U, what it did right, more so what it did wrong, and also our general opinions about it. So, shall we start?
Yes, probably best to, Now we've done the whole time machine thing.
Yes. Right now, you can buy a Nintendo Wii U for around... Yeah, anywhere between £199 and £280. Amazon have got a second-hand Mario Kart 8 bundle for $260, a Wii U Premium with Nintendo Land for $140, and the Zelda Wind Waker HD Collection for $190, and the Xenoblade for $250. So it's still pretty expensive, even though Nintendo have basically given up on it and they're not producing it anymore.
Well, I mean, unlike the Wii, which was dirt cheap to begin with, and then was released even dirt cheaper as time went on.
Yeah. I mean, you can pick a Wii up now for 15 quid, can't you?
Yeah, roughly, yeah. I think
Actually, fair, I did that. I literally picked up a Wii today, 15 quid. I wanted to play Mario Galaxy again.
Well, I mean, hopefully we'll see something to that effect in the near future. But yeah.
The Wii was expected. Well, let's talk about lifetime sales.
18?
In 2013, the first financial year when it came out, Nintendo sold more Wiis than it did Wii U's. It sold 3.98 million Wiis and only 3.45 million Wii U's.
Yes.
In 2014, the Wii still outsold it pretty much. For every 2 Wiis, 1 Wii U was sold. Only 2.72 million Wii U sold. Pretty much goes on. In this last financial year, which was 2016, it sold 111,000 Wiis, but only 3.26 million Wii U's, which was actually the Wii U's third best year. So, when you look at the fact that in the financial year of 2008, Nintendo sold more Wiis than it did for the entirety of Wii U's. It kind of puts into perspective when people say this console failed from a unit shipped standpoint.
Well, from a unit shipped standpoint, obviously, from a financial standpoint, Nintendo actually made money with it. They just pissed off investors.
I mean, they were expecting to sell 100 million.
Yeah, they were hoping to sell the same amount that the Wii sold.
Which I think is the biggest problem the Wii U had. They put too much expectations that people would see the name Wii and just be like, I want it because the first one was so good.
When unfortunately, what actually happened was the opposite, and the Wii brand damaged it. Because basically...
the Wii U would have succeeded if it just wasn't called the Wii U.
What if the Wii U was called the Nintendo Switch?
Even in that case, yeah, anything other than Wii U itself, I think would have.
Yeah, no, I think the name was a terrible, terrible decision. It really brings us to our first point of the negatives.
I mean, spec-wise as well, the other biggest problem it had is it released at the start of this console generation, pretty much. A year before this console generation started. And, I mean, at the time, it was powerful. It was on par with an Xbox 360 and a PS3. But the problem was, when developers all switched over to Xbox One and PS4...
They lost.
It was severely underpowered. I mean, it only had a 1.24 gigahertz Espresso CPU, only 2 gigabytes of RAM, and I generally think some of the bigger things was it only had 550 megahertz of graphics, which is not great. But I think by far one of the biggest issues was that the basic set only had 6 gigabytes of RAM memory, and the deluxe only had like 29 once you take it in the operating system.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not and obviously it's not like they've completely learnt from this mistake now.
Well, no, because I think the problem was, at least with this mistake now,
it makes sense based on the form factor.
Way, all the content's on, unless you go physically choose to go digital, all the content is on the cartridges.
And it's faster to read from cartridges, yeah. But yeah, Nintendo made a lot of mistakes with the Wii U's power.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I wasn't until recently with some of the like numbers being thrown around about their new console, is that I really thought how weak the Wii U truly was.
Yeah, like I don't think we ever fully realised how bad it was with development.
Well, no, that's the thing which makes me really excited about their new console, is because of what they pushed out of it.
Yeah. I'm surprised the Wii U produced as good a games as it did.
Yes.
I still think the Wii U would have sold better if they'd relaunched it a year late. They kind of admitted they fucked up. They relaunched it, and instead of giving you the gamepad, they gave you a Pro Controller, to the Wii U and a Pro Controller. I think that would have that might have helped alleviate some of the issues. I think the problem was the gamepad was very clunky. The battery was pretty bad. It had loads of features in it that it didn't need, like the camera. I don't know why it had a camera in it. I don't know one game that used it fully, and it was a shit camera, to be fair.
The only thing that used the camera was the inbuilt Skype function that I used once.
Yeah, I used that once to try and know, like, this is shit. Like, where my £100 laptop's got better quality. I think the gamepad was the problem with that system. It was not very good. It wasn't really utilised. Even Nintendo sort of gave up developing for it specifically. Yeah, it was just kind of like, it felt kind of like a Fisher-Price toy. It didn't really have that high standard of quality that I expect with a Nintendo product.
I mean, I could definitely be more brutal. I'm probably gonna be more brutal than I should be right now, based on holding the almost Apple-like quality of the Switch.
Well, no, you say that, but the Switch, the Wii U gamepad, when you're holding it for a long time, it did become a bit of an awkward.
Well, no, the Wii U gamepad was probably the first example I've ever had about Nintendo. You need to play a Nintendo console to understand if it's comfortable. It was the same with the Switch, and it was the same with the Wii U, because it was like, that looks like it's not comfortable. I held it, and you got used to it so fast.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it wasn't even heavy. I mean, like, I feel like we should point out some of the positive points of the actual hardware itself, because there were quite a lot of positives.
The OS was shit. The
OS was rubbish, but going on to the actual positives.
Let's talk about the positives. Well, that's a point we're going to discuss later.
Well, what other negatives are there about the actual hardware?
Oh, well, we've got a couple actually. But I also want to add, the Wii U did come with, and because I'm saying it still is because the Switch's Pro Controller is not out yet. The Wii U Pro Controller is the best traditional console controller out there, because
it's basically an Xbox controller with a PlayStation's layout.
Yeah.
And it lasts for 80 hours.
And I understand why Nintendo haven't done it now, but I give Nintendo credit for making it fully compatible with all the Wii software, because it's a really nice thing where you don't have to kind of relegate the entire Wii library to.
Well, I also think that kind of also damaged it as well, though.
Oh, no, I agree.
It further pushed it towards this is just a Wii U, this is just an accessory.
I basically ended up using it now more as a Wii emulator than I did for actual, like, it's weird. I've looked at my game library. I've got on my Wii U more Virtual Console and Wii games than I have actually Wii U specific games.
Yes, I mean, like, the Wii U had a definite case of game sparsity. Luckily enough, for the console to not completely die in a fire like the Dreamcast did.
Yeah.
It had some very quality titles.
Yeah. Two things I want to go through quickly, and I want a simple answer from you. units shipped worldwide as of last year was 13.56 million. I don't think it will peak at 14 million. It might do if they crash the price just to get rid of the stock. Will the Switch beat that?
What? Beat 14?
I'm going to say yes, easily, in the first year.
In the first year, 14 million. I think the way it's currently set up to, the fact that it's currently got more pre-orders than for day one than PlayStation 4 had for month sales.
Yeah. My other question is...
PlayStation 4, sorry?
The Wii U came out in 2012. When do you think Nintendo gave up on it? What year do you think Nintendo were like, right, the Wii U is not going anywhere. We need to... Instead of like...
2015.
And do you think, basically, the reason... Do you think they gave up on it a lot harder? Because I think we can both agree, from late 2014, the quality of the thing just dropped.
1 sec, I need to do the list of it, because there's 2 games that came out that were towards the end of the cycle.
But do you think... When do you think Nintendo gave up on it?
Well, I don't know, actually, because Splatoon came out towards the end of... mid 2015, so I'm going to have to say after that. It felt like they must have they really gave up on it last year. Which means in reality they only really gave up on the system a year before the annual cycle.
The other thing I want to add, I don't think this is going to surprise either of us, but the 10 best-selling Wii U games were all Nintendo published and pretty much Nintendo developed software.
Oh shit! Actually, 2015 was probably the best year for the Switch. For the Wii U.
I'll give you that.
Which is, yeah, so I'm going to say they gave up in 2016. But yeah, no, it's not surprising. And
let's talk about some of the games.
Wait, but isn't like the top selling for like nearly every console? Like, mostly first party?
Yeah, but these were like developed and published by Nintendo.
So like, let me guess. Can I just guess? Guess at some of them?
Hang on, wait. Yep.
Bayonetta 2 is probably that.
What, Bayonetta 2, no.
Is it not?
No.
That's weird considering it's like praised as one of the best games of all time.
The best, I'll give you a clue. It's
Splatoon there as well?
Yes.
Mario...
Splatoon is number 1, 2, 3,
Super Mario 3D World.
Yep, that's number 3.
Mario Kart 8.
Is number 1.
Super Smash Brothers 4.
That's number 7. Basically, the
is Zombie U even on there?
No, it's Hyrule Warriors.
Was that number 2?
No, that I'm going for.
All right.
I'll go from best to least best and best selling.
Right.
Mario Kart 8 with 8.26 million copies.
Yep.
New Super Mario Bros. U with 5.62. Super Mario 3D World with 5.47.
Yep.
This is a bit of a con, but Nintendo Land with 5.16.
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U 5.16.
Yep.
Splatoon with 4.76.
Yep.
Super Mario Maker with 3.89. New Super Luigi U 2.89.
That's interesting.
The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD 2.11 million.
Twilight Princess?
No.
Really?
Mario Party 10 2.4 million.
That's depressing.
Wii Party U 1.58 million. Yoshi's Woolly World 1.37 million.
Understandable.
And the last two that are in joint place are Hyrule Warriors with 1 million and Pokemon Tournament with 1 million.
Wait, so Twilight Princess HD didn't sell 1 million?
No. The total number of Wii U set games sold up to the end of last year was 96.52 million.
Well, see, now you've got those words now, I'm kind of interested, because a lot of those franchises are coming back on the Switch.
Yeah.
Like, so Splatoon sold 5 million. How much do you think Splatoon will sell by the end of this year? Do you think it will hit 5 million?
Easily. I can easily see it being a bundled-in game.
Well, I think even without being bundled in a game, you'll probably get like higher than half adoption rates.
Yeah. I just want to put it into context. How many games do you think the Wii sold? As of like the same time period, which ended in March 31st, 2014.
Okay, so There was 117, 113. I believe the PS2 has just started to outsell the Wii now. So there's
895.22 million.
That's not that much, because that would mean that every Wii, on average, a Wii U only bought 8 games. Sorry, a Wii U only bought 8 games.
Apart from Wii Sports, which was obviously bundled in, the best-selling games again were
Skyward Sword.
No, no, but again, like you say, they were pretty much. It's all pretty much Nintendo. It was the Wii's were very much the same. Mario Kart Wii sold 37. Wii Sports Resort sold 33. New Super Mario Bros. Wii sold 30. Wii Play, Wii Fit Plus, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. It was Super Mario Galaxy, Wii Party, Mario Party 8, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Twilight Princess, Mario and Sonic, Donkey Kong. Link's Crossbow Training sold 6 million.
That's
Mario's
interesting.
Sonic. Just Dance 2 sold 5 million.
Do you want to? Well, okay, you got all that right.
To be fair,
And
Skyward Sword. I was trying to add a couple of specific ones. Skyward Sword sold under 3.4 million. Surprisingly, Michael Jackson: The Experience sold 2 million.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4: The Remake sold 2 million.
Yeah.
Apart from that, Mario Strikers Charge, which I hope Nintendo revive for the
Bring it
Switch.
back, boys. Bring it back.
I fucking love that.
Don't give us the PS3 port of FIFA. Give us.
Well, I would happily take that.
Yeah.
It gets sad that Red Steel only sold 1 million. And
wasn't Red Steel 2 better? Like, way better?
Yeah, but it basically sold like shit because at that point everyone had given up on the Wii.
Dude, Red Steel would be a great game for the Switch.
Oh yeah, the second one was. I loved the second one, but most people didn't buy it because.
Okay, all right. So you've gone through that. Do you mind if I go through my lists? Because I feel like to get a really true feel for Nintendo as a whole and the Wii U's idea of its sales.
Yeah.
Is I'm gonna go through to the GameCube and N64, which is the previous ones. Okay, so what do you think the top selling game for the GameCube was?
When did the GameCube come out? Early 2000.
2001. No, not even that. No, yeah, 2001. All right, so what?
I'm gonna say Smash Brothers.
It is Smash Bros.
Wait. Let me guess. I'm gonna say Smash Brothers. Then I'm probably gonna say either Sunshine or Wind Waker in second place, and then probably Double Dash.
Okay, so it's Smash Bros. With 7 million copies sold. Sorry, 7.01. So about
8 million almost.
No, it's 7.09.
Oh, fair.
And then Mario Kart Double Dash narrowly behind it with 7 million.
Yeah.
Super Mario Sunshine with 6.31 million. And here's the interesting thing about the shows like that I think is a pattern with Nintendo's less popular consoles.
Yeah.
Wind Waker only sold 3 million.
Really?
So if anyone ever, because there's always this huge argument like Zelda is way less popular than the fans make it sound like there is, and it's very true. On average, Mario.
I'm looking at that list, and I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't really surprise me. I'm surprised Sonic Adventure 2 Battle did so well.
What?
But I'm really surprised Twilight Princess did as well as it did.
Also, if you look how undersold the GameCube was. It has the separate metrics. Like only 100,000 copies of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was sold in the UK.
Yeah. Can I also say I'm really glad Mario Party 4 is the best-selling Mario Party.
All right. So basically, if we just go down this and like for exclusives for the system, and Adventure 2 Battle isn't exclusive because it's a different version of the Dreamcast game, and the Dreamcast was dead at this point. Every single one of these, except for Resident Evil 0. And Soul Calibur 2, actually I think Soul Calibur 2 was an exclusive, are all exclusives, right?
Yeah.
Hopping over to my console, the OG, the Nintendo 64, Wait,
let me have a guess. The top selling games got to fucking be it's got to be Super Mario 64.
It is almost 12 million.
And then I'm guessing Ocarina
Nope.
and Mario Kart.
Mario Kart is the second best, GoldenEye is the third best. So Mario Kart.
What's the difference between Mario Kart and GoldenEye?
Almost 2 million. Ocarina of Time then is fourth with 7.6 million. Then Super Smash Bros. Did 5 million. And yet again, going down the list, Banjo-Tooie, Pokemon Snap, Perfect Dark, some wrestling games, Wave Race. And back here, like, Nintendo really owned a lot of the third-party market anyway, and had them as first-party. Pretty much every single game here, except for, like, maybe one or two, again, were N64 exclusives. So when we say that the Wii U had a bunch, bestsellers were were only Wii U, exclusives, isn't a bad thing, because it's what Nintendo does.
Yeah.
Like, if someone comes out and tells me that, like, the port, say, for some weird reason, Andromeda gets ported to the Switch, won't happen, because EA's a bitch. Give us stuff, EA. And, I think, that's not gonna, like, be in the top sellers.
Yeah.
I think it might sell, it might sell like 2 million, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it won't sell that much. It won't sell that much compared to like Mario, Zelda.
Well, you say that, but even looking at the 3DS, the best-selling games are Pokemon and Mario.
Yep.
Literally, 3 of the 4 best-selling 3DS games are Pokemon.
Like, put it this way. A lot of Nintendo fans at the moment are complaining that Nintendo don't have the power for third-party support, which is apparently not true. But even if they didn't, what they don't seem to understand is that no one buys third-party on Nintendo.
To be fair, with the Switch, I would seriously...
Oh yeah, no. The Switch is a completely different ballpark, and I think they're going to see a lot more higher third-party sales in that account, especially for indie games.
Funny. If I travel a lot, so I'm going to buy Skyrim for like the 4th time. I've got it on PC. I've got it on Xbox 360.
I think Skyrim's going to sell like 3 million units.
Yeah, I'm going to buy Skyrim just so I can have Skyrim on the go. It doesn't run like shit on my laptop that burns my legs.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the really the games portion gone over. It kind of turned from a Wii U retrospective to a Nintendo retrospective.
So now we're going to talk about. Do you want to start with let's start with the good things, because I sadly think there are less good things about the Wii U than there are bad things.
I mean, we've already gone over a big chunk of the bad things.
Well, we've got exclude. Like, I'm going to go through a couple of my favourites, and I just want you to hit me up. Despite the releases being sparse, it did have some very good exclusives.
I think it had the best exclusives.
Bayonetta 2 is amazing. Tokyo Mirage Session was amazing. I admit Star Fox was fucking dire, and there was no mainstream Animal Crossing. Smash Brothers was amazing. Super Mario 3D World wasn't my type of game, but it was a good game.
It was an interesting blend between the 3D, between Galaxy and 2D.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
I think the touchscreen was a good idea, but my problem with it was that it was very, like Kinect on the Xbox, it was very quickly dropped beyond a simple map thing. It wasn't, and I know at the time it was probably the best technology they could do on the price. But the screen quality itself wasn't good, the battery was shit, and it just kind of felt really cheap and heavy.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with you, like, on pretty much all of those points. I really like the second screen thing. Yeah, I'm actually kind of disappointed that the Switch didn't support it, at least like partially, just for first party.
Yeah.
But
the next thing I want to talk about is Miiverse. Miiverse was great, and I'm really sad they got rid of it, because I think they could have really improved on Miiverse.
I think this is because they're. I think they've already said that's because they're basically letting it move to actual social media, which I guess in terms of like OS and RAM usage, it's probably the best bet.
The other thing is, despite it not being that powerful a machine,
it pushed out some really nice looking games.
Yeah, it produced like Mario Kart 8, Legend of Zelda HD, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. The games that put the effort into could produce really nice, smooth, stable
frame rate.
games.
Yeah, it's like it's weird. Nintendo makes like the most underpowered consoles, but they're the consoles that most frequently get 60 FPS.
Yeah. The other thing I want to talk about is the control scheme, in the fact that I did like the fact that it was compatible with like Wiimotes, so we could play Mario Kart 8 on proper like co-op.
Yeah, and it also was compatible with like GameCube controllers, so you could bust out a
You had to buy an adapter for the GameCube controllers.
Yeah, we had to buy.
But still. Other things I want to say. The fact that the only good thing about the camera and the thing was that the gamepad had a built-in sensor bar, so you could use that as a Wiimote.
Yes, you could.
External storage, I think they kind of had to have that with the really bad internal storage, but the fact that it really supported internal storage.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't work that well, I did like the idea of having Netflix on a tablet, which was quite good.
Oh no! For a while, it was the best Netflix you could have on console.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, yeah,
which you know, that's why I'm kind of disappointed it's not coming day one to the Switch.
Yeah.
It will come though. It will.
No, it will come.
I think
they're doing a PlayStation right now, and they're literally just doing it as a games console because they know the people who are buying it for basically just Zelda will want a game.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, also, just a slightly veer thing with what you were saying about games looking so good and like underpowered hardware is at the moment, and especially based on like the hardware and just common sense, is that it's going to be quite a fair bit stronger than the Wii U.
I mean,
the games out at the moment are literally Wii U ports. I'm going to call it now. Splatoon is a port.
Oh yeah,
it's an enhanced port being sold as a sequel.
Yeah, that's the only reason they can sell it as a full.
Full price. Well, no, they're selling Mario Kart.
The other things I want to go over quickly was even simple things like I think like the camera had potential, but it didn't really get used.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like used in well, it was used in some creative ways. Like you got the infamous you got another "My Body Is Ready" moment with Reggie when he tried Zombie U's zombification thing. That was cute.
The other thing is it had the best game. I know no one uses their browser on games console.
Oh no, I loved it. I used it to like show my cousin stuff all the time, and like if I didn't want to see him, I'd like close the curtains and I'd like have drum roll for this YouTube video or drum roll for this thing.
Nintendo TV was a good TVI was a good idea, but it never really.
I don't think we ever saw it in the UK.
No, we never saw it. But my friend, when I went to stay with my cousin in America for 2 weeks, she used it, and it was fucking good.
Isn't it just a controller?
Yeah, it's a bit more than that. It's really hard to explain, but it was good.
Okay.
The other thing was, I did quite like, albeit it's kind of an odd one, I did quite like the fact that Nintendo were being Nintendo. They were caving in to what the Xbox 360.
I mean, they're not doing that now. It's just they're being a bit more cheeky about it.
Yeah, but like I give Nintendo credit thing. But
oh no, I mean like I have to give them credit for the Wii U in the first place because without it the Switch would never have existed.
Oh yeah, like I'm happy when people say, "Oh, but aren't you pissed off you spent like 800 quid on the system over its life?" I'm like, no, because I still had fun with it.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I mean like it's only bad for the company that the Wii U was this bad. In terms of an actual console, like I probably bought as many exclusives.
The Wii U wasn't that bad actually for the Nintendo because it sold at a profit.
Yep, it sold at a profit.
And the attachment rate for games was really high.
Yeah, and it had really good games. I think it, at the time, probably had more exclusives than I had for the PS4 that I wanted to play. Obviously, this year...
better exclusives than the Xbox 360.
Well, obviously.
Xbox One, even.
That's kind of... That's,
anyway, I want to talk about the 10 reasons... some reasons why it wasn't that.
Well, okay, can I start?
You may start. We'll take a turn each.
All right. I'm gonna steal it off you. The marketing was fucking dreadful.
What marketing?
Exactly. It's like I saw maybe one advert.
I considered myself, even back in 2012, I considered myself a hardcore gamer. And when they first did the teaser trailer at the end of 2011 E3, I was Googling the internet, saying, is this a new console? Is it a new controller? Is it like a new add-on like the Wii balance board was? I didn't know if it was a new console or if it wasn't genuinely like a gamepad just to get a new console.
I had been following it before its launch, so I did know it was a new console. But it was, yeah. But for the everyday man,
having that issue though, your average Joe is not going to be. I mean, the amount of people I've seen, at least weekend of launch, I saw Mum come into Game Station when that still existed. No, Game it was.
Let's say it was we never had Game Station.
She bought Zombie U for her son because she thought it would run on the Wii because. Yeah, I mean, even the fact that I remember, literally only about 5 people in my hometown turned out for the midnight launch.
Yeah, I mean, I will obviously be able to compare that for.
But I know, I think what you mean. I mean, I'm not going to talk about what Nintendo changed this time because we both agree the marketing's so much better.
Oh yeah, no, like there isn't really any comparisons to make. It's literally there is
I
marketing this time, and it's good.
The kiddie marketing of nature as a kids console, and also the fact that they called it the Wii U.
The naming convention. Even the good point about you being able to use your Wii controllers, like I said earlier, was a negative because it's like, oh, well, if you can use your Wii controllers, but isn't it just a Wii?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically HD Wii.
It's the 64D for the Wii.
It's basically what the Wii should have been.
Yeah, no, just like the Switch is what the Wii U should have been.
Right. The other thing is, I'm going to say this now. The gamepad was a great idea, and I'm glad it happened because without it, the Switch wouldn't have happened. But the gamepad was unnecessary because no one really
outside of the first year used it.
Yeah, even Nintendo pretty much gave up on it. It added unnecessary cost to the device. Like I'm sure that added about 80 quid or so, at least £80 to the actual device. I generally think it would be much better if the gamepad was an optional extra, and the main thing was the Pro Controller, because the Pro Controller on the Wii U was amazing.
Yes.
Still stand by it.
Well, I mean, like, if we can just draw parallels to current stuff and, like, the way that the Wii U controller failed, it's like, it's actually good to look at like, current consoles and even, obviously, the Switch for it. Is the Switch has a gimmick, and that's that it can be taken on the go, but that's more of, it's literally a function rather than like a full-on...
Let's be honest, the gamepad is pretty much a Switch without the camera, a bit thinner and better graphics and a bigger screen.
Yeah.
And
the console's inside of the of the tablet.
Yeah.
It's a miracle in engineering. But no, it's like how there's a load of gimmicks with the Switch, but they're in the Joy-Cons, which are combined make a standard Xbox style controller. Which means that developers are not forced to use this at all, and it doesn't feel unnatural that they're not being used.
Right, my next thing was third-party support was non-existent from the start, and I'm going to say
it had a really good version of Call of Duty, actually.
Yeah, I mean that was good. I mean I bought it because me and my mates played zombies on like the gamepad and then on the big screen.
How was that?
But third-party support was terrible.
Yep.
The other problem is when it did get third-party support, like with Watch Dogs, it didn't come out until like a year after the Xbox, the PS4, Xbox One version, which ran better, looked better, had better multiplayer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean like, I'm sure we'll see a smaller version of that like in the coming years, but obviously not to that degree, and that was just because of how underpowered the system was.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like they've learned their lesson this time, but time will tell. I mean...
Well, let me ask you something. In the UK, Watch Dogs on the Wii U, how many units do you think it globally sold, your Watch Dogs, on the Wii U?
200,000.
No, 130. Globally, right, in its first week, it only sold 4,000 copies. By 2 months later, it only sold 623 in the entire world.
Yikes!
That's bad, dude. In England, and most of that was in England. In England, in week one, it sold 1,017 in UK. Following week, it only sold less than 400, and by 2 months later, it only sold in the entirety of the UK 118 copies.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously like a big issue.
But I think that the other thing was it was severely underpowered compared to what the PS4. Compared to what the PS4 and the Xbox One were producing, it was underpowered, which I think that's not really a big point because that kind of leads why third party dropped it, etc.
Well, yeah, but third party mainly dropped it also because of the sales.
Yeah.
Like, if the Wii U had Wii sales, it would have got so much third party support.
Oh yeah, it would have.
It would have probably been shovelware. But yeah, because of how huge the gap is. I mean,
my next point is a big one.
Yeah.
Basically, the controller was basically. Well, we've said this before, so I'll skip over it. The controller's pretty terrible. The other thing I was going to say is it kind of ditched casual gamers, but it never committed to hardcore gamers either. It was kind of like
it was a good start with Zombie U.
Oh, Zombie U was a great, like, gave me great hope, but it very quickly dropped.
And Bayonetta 2 also came out, which is obviously very not safe for work. I don't know. I'm kind of concerned about that actually at the moment because I haven't seen any first party 18.
I think we're gonna wait. I think as rumours Metroid might be an 18.
I don't think Metroid would be an 18. It'd be a 15.
But I think but at a point was it had the fucking worst launch lineup in the entirety of mankind.
I disagree.
Well, fuck you.
It had Zombie U.
Zombie U was terrible, dude. It was a great game, but it was such a bad game.
It had Nintendo Land, which was like...
Actually, with Nintendo Land, I still play Nintendo Land.
I know, I still play it when I go to my cousins. It's an insanely fun party game.
To be fair...
Didn't that Bayonetta 2 at launch as well?
No, that was like 2014, 15.
I'm pretty sure the Wii U had like one of the stronger.
No, I think the problem was... like Mass Effect 3 was pointless. I don't know why Mass Effect 3 came out to it because it didn't even support it. It sold like shit, and then it didn't even bother bringing any of the DLC over.
Oh wait, okay, right. Look, just to give a comparison and why people are worried about the Switch. Yeah. Assassin's Creed 3 came day one. Batman Arkham City came day one. Black Ops 2 came day one. Darksiders 2 came day one.
But the problem with that was all those games had already been out on other consoles for several months.
Yes, but yet again we bring to this point that is frequently brought up when we discuss the Switch's launch lineup. Every console is like this.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
why I'm kind of happy because we've heard there's going to be a new Assassin's Creed game coming out, and that's going to be on Switch. I kind of think with the Switch coming out in March, developers have got enough time to coincide.
Especially I'm trying to like figure out how long it would take to port a AAA game because it took a week to them to get a working build of Snake Pass, the indie game, which is quite a big 3D open world platform.
And it's actually really good.
Yeah. And so I'd imagine like for other games using Unreal, that maybe it would take a month, maybe 2 months for like a big AAA game. If they have their like team working on it. So there shouldn't be any excuse in that aspect. But yeah, also games like obviously Mass Effect 3, even if you didn't like that they didn't have 1 or 2 on it, it was still Mass Effect 3 and it still worked.
Yeah, but then again at the same time, you could buy on any other system, including PC, for the same price as the Mass Effect 3, the trilogy pack with every DLC with it.
Yeah, but it was still a full version of the game.
They would have done better just to charge a bit more and include the trilogy.
What else do we have?
Other point was the online. Well, we noticed online was pretty terrible.
Yep, and that was probably because it was free.
Yeah. I'm gonna go out and say this now, and it comes down to why they think they should ditch the controller. The console was way too expensive for what it was especially when compared to what the competition was offering.
Yeah, because obviously the Switch is the portability factor, which that then...
Yeah.
And it's like not as underpowered. It's just... It's interesting actually, because at the end of the day, it was a new console, and new consoles do get released at that price.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I think also the fact it never really received a proper price cut. I'm surprised a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago, Nintendo didn't price drop it because they knew the Switch was coming out.
I think they just literally did that just so they could continue raking in the small... I think the amount of profit they got, rather than the small influx of sales they would have got for price cutting it.
Yeah.
Because the price cut wasn't the only thing that saved the 3DS. It was a price cut and a massive influx of first-party games.
Yeah, like Ocarina of Time and that kind of shit saved the...
Yeah, no, I mean, like, the 3DS is, like, going to go on to sell probably PS2 levels.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely give you that.
So, I mean, like, in retrospect, the console wasn't actually that awful.
The Switch, or we talk about the Wii U?
Yeah. In, like if you think about it, like, relatively. It had a good selection of first-party games. It had a interesting feature that unfortunately was underutilized, which I guess you could say was a negative. The online was bad. That's one negative. Third party was bad, but that's been pretty standard, unfortunately, for Nintendo. But more importantly, I think to kind of round things off in terms of positives, because we've already gone over both the negatives and positives, is we should look about what it the amazing stuff it did, that changed Nintendo. So I'm going to start with the game that nobody thought would do anything and is now one of my most anticipated Switch titles. Splatoon. Yeah, Splatoon. Completely came out of nowhere. New IP for a dying system, and
destroyed
it won
the competition.
Beat Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Medal of Honor. Just completely wiped the floor with everything, and I think it's going to do it again because I don't think Battlefield's doing anything special this year, and COD's got too much ill will.
Actually, depends. If COD do a decent World War II game.
Yeah, it depends on the multiplayer. People will probably still say Splatoon 2 is more fun. There's that. Xenoverse Chronicles X is a ridiculously big open world JRPG. I haven't seen a game of that scale ever. On a dying, weak, underpowered system.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions was good.
It's a really good game that is not Persona, but it's totally Persona. But it's still Shin Megami Tensei. But yeah, it's shit like that, and all that stuff is going to come forward and really help the Switch, I think. At the end of the day, you can call the Wii U the necessary failure to create the Switch. I would definitely say that.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I kind of think...
It was also the prototype Switch, because I'm pretty sure Iwata wanted from the start the portable console, but the technology just wasn't there.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad the Wii U failed. And I know we're going to get shit in the comments for this, but I feel with the Wii U failing, Nintendo were kind of...
You mentioned this earlier.
I don't talk ill about the dead, but I kind of feel like Iwata, even Miyamoto... and that lot, the old guard per se, were kind of thinking they knew what gamers want. And one thing that's come across for me personally very strongly with the Switch is they're kind of letting all the old guard sit back and letting new younger guys take the lead on these games, on the development of the console, etc. I kind of feel like the Wii U was Nintendo being really cocky almost. They're the Wii was the best-selling console pretty much in history. Everyone, even your grandmother, had one. You're going to pay exactly the same for HD version of that now, aren't you? And no one did.
I mean, yeah. And I definitely think it's really humbled them to a point that, now, especially, for example, we'll take, obviously, the teardown specs and stuff, is that old Nintendo would have just screamed it. Not really thinking about how it would affect the sales. It'd be it's powerful. It's 80% of an Xbox One. Go buy it. In reality, if they did that, people are going to be well, if it's 80% of an Xbox One and it's more expensive than an Xbox One, why don't I just go buy an Xbox One? They wouldn't really think about the main feature or the fact that it's going to have
the
probably
one thing
better
I
games.
do think the Wii U did really well though was including Mario in premium. I don't really know anyone who got the basic bundle. Everyone I knew always got the premium bundle.
I got the Zombie U.
Yeah, well, I got a Zombie U, but that was a launch exclusive, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and you got the Pro Controller with it.
And I loved it.
So
but
good.
Most people I know who didn't get a Zombie U edition got the premium pack, and everyone says Nintendo Land was the best thing, one of the best favorite games in the Wii U, which still makes me think they should have included Switch, 1-2 Switch, because
I think another reason why they didn't include it as a packet is because they didn't think they could hold it to the same level of fun as as obviously Wii Sports and Nintendo Land.
Because actually, Wii Sports and Nintendo Land were just fun games.
Yeah, I definitely think that's probably what the Switch is missing this time around. That's probably because they went for a more, powerful approach.
I would have been very tempted just to even port in, if I was them, it wouldn't have cost that much. Nintendo could almost just, I know Nintendo's argument was, we didn't include 1-2 Switch because we didn't want to charge over $300 for the system. Or, $300 money for the system.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo, we both know, are basically Scrooge McDuck, because they've got a fuck ton of money. They can afford to fuck up for the next 7 generations and still be more
have more money than Sony. And
I'm pretty sure every time we say this, we add another generation to the analogy.
But you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
I would have, if I was Nintendo, literally given some, like Miyamoto, for sake of argument, 60 to 100 million pounds, and said to him, look, make a minigame collection. It doesn't have to be brilliant, but make a minigame collection that showcases the Joy-Con controllers. Like basically one.
I think we'll get Switch Sports.
Yeah, I think we'll get a version of like Switch Sports, like tennis.
Probably E3. I don't know. I mean, I think that's another thing that's really we've kind of finished the Wii U segment, to be honest, and just move it.
Actually, no. To finish it, I do have one thing that's just come up in my notes.
Okay, his internet has cut out. So we're just going to sit here and we're going to jam to some Mario Kart remix music that you've been listening to in the background for a while. As we wait for him to return. And no, I'm not cutting this, because I'm lazy. Yeah, boy. This is the commercial break, and he is back. It's fine. We in the audience just had a little dance to some Mario Kart 8 music.
My glorious internet crash. No, but what I'll say, I think Nintendo should have just like, do you remember when they released Mario Kart 8? They basically said to people, if you buy the Mario Kart 8 Wii U bundle, you can pick from a digital download from like 8 games, and it was like some quite good games, like Zelda, a couple of Zelda games.
Yeah, no, I do remember that actually. If you bought, there's some deals like that, and I think we're probably gonna see more deals like that.
I think people who bought Switch on day one might get something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they say.
Well, this would be next year though. I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be any time.
Do you think? Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna miss the Wii U, but to be fair, I haven't really played it that much in a while.
No, I mean, all the best games are coming over. Xenoblade and stuff like that is getting like they're either getting sequels or they're getting ports disguised as sequels.
Yeah.
And I'm not even salty about that, because to be honest, I would just pay full price to have Splatoon 1 again. So I mean, the fact that they've added some extra content, shined it up a bit.
If I was Nintendo, I would have basically just ported Splatoon 1 and then had that for launch, and then say you get Splatoon 1. If you pre-order Splatoon 2 now, you get Splatoon 1 for free.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I get the feeling that the games we've seen so far are literally just games that they've cobbled together. Well, not cobbled together, but like.
They don't require a lot of money and time to develop.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that none of these games are pushing the system at all.
I think Mario Odyssey might be that. I generally think Mario Odyssey though is the first game that's.
Well, like uses the I mean, like, it's impossible to tell how truly how much power this thing has until we see like a proper. I don't want to say proper. A non-cell shaded game.
I think Skyrim might be the first.
I mean, kinda, yeah. I mean, like, we'll see. Because, like, if you think about what Nintendo's been able to push out of, like, weak systems like the Wii U, if we're thinking of they're working on something that could be approximately Xbox One levels of power, or just underneath it, then I'm just really excited. Like, Metroid is going to look gorgeous if they've been developing this whole time, and they're going to use, like, the whole, whatever, 800 or 700 or 600, whatever, flops. And yeah, no, I just think it's going to be a really good time, and I just want to kind of end this off by just looking forward to, like, obviously the big events, E3, and just, like...
The other thing is, Thursday can't come quickly.
Oh yeah, no, I just want the Switch.
I don't even want... Actually, no. Friday for me will be when it's real. When we can go... When we have our... Friday is when we have our May... It's going to be like probably be about 2 hours long. And we're going to go through everything from system to what to expect in the first year. Literally, our big preview podcast.
Yep. It's just gonna be so exciting, and then obviously past the launch you have E3 coming up, and I think this is the first time I can safely say, apart from Metroid and some of the stuff that was supposedly leaked about the launch stuff that's probably at E3, I have no idea.
Yeah.
What games are gonna be there, and I think there's gonna be new IP.
Nintendo know how important E3 is. E3 is going to be make or break for this system.
Especially for this
year. They can basically say
look, we've got Zelda. I think we'll see a Zelda. We'll see an Animal Crossing.
I don't think we'll see a Zelda.
No, not Zelda. Well, I think we might see a Zelda. I think if we see a Zelda,
I think if we'll see Zelda, it'll be a trailer for the DLC.
But I think we'll see like proper. Yeah, I'm just really. I can't wait for this console. I don't remember being. I was excited for the Wii U, but I wasn't this excited. Like
I think it's just more clued in now as well. Like I read a post on Reddit about it the other day, and it's like it's relative. Like your hype now will feel like it's the hypest you've ever been because you can't remember the hype of the PS4, or the hype of the Wii U, or the hype of the Xbox One. Actually, no, the Xbox One was more just Sony repeatedly backhanding unceremoniously the Xbox One to the ground, helping it back up and then stamping on it a bit more. But yeah, no, that's our podcast. It's always sunny in Birmingham. The gang takes a look at one. We hardly knew you, and hopefully you guys will want to check out the site when it launches. Is it
next? We're writing we've got some all of our
articles have been up at the moment. Yeah,
it's going fully live next week. I'll talk to you after this phone call. Don't hang up. Question is, should people buy a Wii U if they see it cheap?
Ooh, how cheap?
That's my final question.
How cheap?
If they see a Wii U on offer, do they get one?
How cheap is this?
I'm going to say, well, you know,
like we're talking 200?
Yeah.
That really depends. I would say wait till E3, and if there is a Smash port announced, and if there is because there's probably gonna be a lot of Wii U ports as well in the future. If there's a port of the HD Zeldas and stuff like that. If they do a Xenoblade port, which is apparently definitely happening.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I would say that definitely just wait for the Switch. It's gonna have the definitive version of those games that are better looking, better running, and you'll be able to take it on the go.
Okay.
I think the only reason you are worth getting the Wii U at the moment is if you're a collector, or if you want to play Bayonetta 2. As I get the feeling they won't port that, they'll just make a new one.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yep. Want to see more hairy boobies. I'm actually just gonna end that there.
Yeah, please end that. The final words be hairy boobies.